sure you've heard of fake news.
Fake news.
You are fake news.
Fake news.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
But have you heard of fake views? Now, more than ever, views are one of the most valuable assets to have. On platforms like Google, Facebook, and TikTok, views are all they have, and they have a lot of views, which is why they've become some of the most valuable companies in the world. In 2019, Alphabet, Google's parent company, raked in over $160 billion in revenue, $134 billion of which came from just advertising. Facebook made $70 billion, most of which also came from ads. Successes like these led a person like Mark Zuckerberg to go from just a normal college student to being the only person under 50 among the richest 10 people on Earth. Huge user bases like these gave some people lives they could have never imagined, but these empires might not always be as real as you think. On January 17, 2017, a Puerto Rican singer named Luis Fonsi published a song called Despacito.
I woke up one morning with Despacito, Puerto Rico.
He published a song and posted a music video on YouTube. The song grew pretty quickly at first, but it wasn't until Justin Bieber made a remix 4 months later that the song really took off. The video quickly became #1 on Billboard Hot 100 and was #1 on charts in dozens of countries around the world. On YouTube, after just 8 months,
A historic announcement. Despacito is now the most viewed YouTube video of all time.
and it's now inching towards 7 billion views. Take note, the population of Earth is 7.6 billion. On December 12, 2019, on another platform called TikTok, an internet magician named Zach King made a video of him going around in a circle on what looked like a flying broomstick from Harry Potter. Within just 3 days, the video had 1.8 billion views and now is up to 2.1. It had so many views it literally broke TikTok, but somehow it only has 13 million likes and 45,000 comments. Meanwhile, a video he posted later with just 120 million views, 17 times smaller, has a million more likes than the broomstick video. Both of these videos are examples of extreme virality on the internet. This is something that was never possible before the internet, but are these simply examples of popularity and good luck, or is there a secret that the creators or platforms don't want us to know? Although such extreme virality is a modern concept, inflating views or sales is one of the oldest tricks in the book. When music was still mostly sold on records, the only way top charts like Billboard had to measure success of a song was to count how many records were sold. But Billboard couldn't tell if they actually sold once they got to the retail stores. So all producers had to do was send out thousands of records to stores around the world, and even if only half of them actually sold and the rest were just returned, nobody would ever know. All those fake sales put certain artists at the top of charts which people saw, drawing more real people to want that record. Using fake popularity to become even more popular is called social proof, and it works. Today, buying a bunch of records wouldn't make sense though, since they're expensive and most people don't buy records in the first place. Instead, there's a hidden world of fake streams and views. One documentary from Germany shows how one man in a computer gave someone who isn't even a singer hundreds of thousands of streams in just a few days by using bots to play a song over and over. And that only costs a few $1,000s, so with more payment they could easily get millions of streams, which could then be transferred into money as Spotify pays out a fraction of a cent every time someone plays your song. Doing this across millions of views could make you a ton of money. To take advantage of this, a playlist maker in Bulgaria made 2 playlists called Soulful Music and Music from the Heart. They had hundreds of instrumental songs from artists that were almost completely unknown and had no other social presence apart from on Spotify. Nonetheless, they climbed the global charts, getting millions of plays with only about 1,000 followers. This was possible because the average song was just 43 seconds long, just 13 seconds more than what you need to get a payout from your song. Then bots using premium accounts likely played through the songs 24/7 tens of thousands of times, which could have easily given them over $1 million in just a few months. Spotify obviously doesn't want to pay for views from people who don't exist though, so they are constantly updating their systems to remove bots, fake streams, and fake followers. Spotify removed most of Soulful Music songs and are constantly looking for more fakers. This is especially important for them since Spotify runs on a very small profit margin and didn't even turn a profit until 2019. 13 years after its founding. But it's not always the user who is playing the system. Spotify itself might have created fake artists who only post their songs on Spotify, who make mostly instrumental songs from artists on places like Epidemic Sound, which basically makes background music. The theory is that Spotify pays these no-name artists less than others and features them on popular mood playlists like Deep Focus. This list of just 10 artists who were proven to be fake or specifically made for just Spotify amassed over 1 billion views that likely were at a discount price for Spotify. Now, since they couldn't get rid of them, big music companies like Sony are making low-cost playlists like this one of a rainstorm cut into 1-minute clips. If you look at this here, there's 160 songs, 3 hours in length, and it's basically just one storm cut up into 160 pieces. So if you go towards the end like this, it'll go right into the next. And this also plays into the market of people who are going to sleep so they don't turn it off after they listen to the song. They're all by an innocent sounding guy named Sleepy John, but he's actually a composer named David Turodi who works at a place like Epidemic Sound called Yellowtone. Yellowtone lets Sony buy their music at a low cost. But fake views aren't just happening on Spotify. A simple Google search will show how easy it is to buy fake views, subscribers, likes, or anything else you could want on almost every platform. On this website, you can apparently buy 500,000 YouTube views for just $1,500 or a million for $2,500. If you want to boost your Facebook, you can buy 50,000 Facebook likes for $1,100. On another site, you can buy 5,000 followers on Instagram for just $85. Whether or not these services will actually work isn't clear, but many times they do. For example, Shane Dawson as an experiment bought tens of thousands of YouTube views, Instagram likes and followers, and Twitter followers, and they almost all came with no problem.
This can't be real. But I did end up buying her 50,000 more followers. I haven't seen if it's worked yet. Okay, so let's start with my mom's video. Last time we looked, it was at 20,000 views. That was a few hours ago. Let's see what it's at now.
Anyone could be famous.
Let's see if it hit 10,000 yet. Number 1, does it work? Yes. Number 2, do I think anybody should do this? No.
In 2012, YouTube fought back at these fake views, which are also known as black hat marketing. They removed over 2 billion views on videos from creators like Rihanna and Justin Bieber and from giant music companies like Universal Music and Sony who had been buying fake views for their videos. Platforms like YouTube don't just do this so they don't have to pay them. Views are also one of the most important aspects of a platform when an advertiser is looking where to advertise. So if you already have advertisers, you want to make sure their money is going towards real people and the data about those people is right. But the case can be different if you're still trying to move people to a new form of advertising or viewing. In 2016, Facebook really thought the future of the internet was video. Its vice president of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa said in the next 5 years, Facebook will be
definitely mobile, will be probably all video. We're seeing a year-on-year decline on text. We're seeing a massive increase, as I've said, on both pictures and video. So I think, yeah, if I was having a bet, I would say video, video, video.
To show creators and advertisers how well their videos were doing, Facebook gave them the average watch time of videos by calculating the average amount of time people spent watching. But they only counted their view if they were there longer than 3 seconds. This led the average view duration to be skewed anywhere between 60 and 80% or 150 to 900% more than what it really was, depending on who you believe. According to internal Facebook documents, they knew this was happening but didn't do anything, probably because it was helping move people to video and bringing in advertisers.
13 right now. This morning, Facebook is paying $40 million to advertisers over a flaw that led advertisers to believe that consumers were watching their ads more than they actually were. Facebook admitted that there was a problem with the formula, but the company denies that they knew about the problems for over a year and did nothing about it.
The fact that this lawsuit happened in the first place shows that companies like Facebook aren't always so innocent in making sure fake views, bots, or fake watch time is gone.
In August, Facebook reported they had identified and deleted 83 million accounts. That was 9% of the total at the time. This resulted in noticeable drops for popular singers and celebrities. So did they delete all of the fake likes? Nope, not even close. I know because most of the likes on my Facebook page are not genuine.
The problem Veritasium shows in his video is that Facebook is filled with people from click farms. So even if you run ads using Facebook's tools, you might still get people from Bangladesh or the Philippines who are just clicking on everything they see to make their accounts look real. Because of this, Facebook doesn't want to get rid of every fake account because then it will hurt all those advertisers who thought their followers were real. But Facebook still has to make it look like they're trying. But other places like YouTube likely aren't as entrenched in this problem since most ads aren't trying to get followers, but instead they're seeking sales. So YouTube has more of an incentive to remove all of the fake views because they are the only measure that matters. So if you look at Despacito, most of its 6.7 billion views are probably real. It has 3.3 million comments and 37 million likes. Although this rate is below the averages for the top videos on trending, videos lose engagement with scale as people watch again and again. And that makes sense, because this video is a song. People listen to songs on repeat, and YouTube is the world's biggest music streaming platform with 2 billion monthly active users. But this video from TikTok doesn't make as much sense. In late 2019, TikTok was hitting its stride. After merging Musical.ly, which was a short lip-syncing video platform, with TikTok, the platform was growing faster than it ever had before. During the fourth quarter of 2019, TikTok recorded the most downloads ever, at 219 million. This made it the fastest growing app in the App Store. But despite this explosive growth, it was still making relative scraps from advertisers and was still trying to prove it was a big player. YouTube, the main video competitor to TikTok, at the time of recording has 226 videos with over 1 billion views. But TikTok doesn't have any. And if TikTok wants to make it, it has to attract advertisers to stay relevant, and the only way to do that would be show that they had viewers. This critical lesson was learned from Vine, who after never running ads on the platform, was absorbed and eventually discontinued by Twitter. Right as all of this was being realized, Zach King made these 2 videos. He was the largest account on the platform at the time, and the videos were perfect examples of what TikTok wanted to be. And out of nowhere, these 2 videos, which weren't really anything very different from Zach's other videos, got 1.1 and 2.1 billion views. But if you compare them to his other videos, you'll see a giant discrepancy. The average one of his posts gets about 9.5 of total views as likes. So a video with 100 million views would get about 9.5 million likes. But these 2 videos didn't follow that trend at all. Instead, they got an average of 6.8 million likes, not for 100 million, but 1 billion views. And there's a similar disconnect with comments. Plus, TikTok only has about 800 million active users, which means every single person on the app would have to watch the video an average of 2.6 times. But what are the odds that would actually happen? So then how did he get so many views, and why was the engagement so terrible? One way he could have gotten so many views was maybe everyone just watched it about 2.6 times. You might be saying people could have easily just watched it 3 times watching on loop, but based on my testing, letting this video play over and over automatically doesn't actually count as a view. Instead, everyone would have to scroll back up in their feed and then go back into the video, or go back into his page and click on the video over and over again. Both of these options are quite unlikely, and magic tricks aren't like songs where you come back again and again. Also, why would every single person on the app get shown the same exact video from every country around the world? Still, even if that did happen, that wouldn't explain why the engagement was so low. Another option could be that people just watch the videos 10 times or maybe 100 times each, which would require far less people. But again, to do that, they would have to refresh their video over and over, which wouldn't make sense why it would just happen on this video and on none of his other videos, which are very similar in making people confused since they're magic. Given this, it's more likely that most of the views aren't real. This would explain why there's such a low amount of people engaging on the content, since bots can only like it once, but they can view thousands of times. There's 3 main ways this could have happened. There could have just been a glitch that made the video show a way higher number of views than was true. But then why would it only happen to Zach King? And why twice? And why was it never fixed? Instead, it's more likely the views came from another source. This could have come from either Zach King buying views or someone testing a bot on his videos. This would make sense as to why it would just happen to Zach King, as his page would be a perfect place to test a bot, since it's somewhat reasonable that Zach King would just go that viral because he's so big. It would be much less conspicuous as if someone with maybe 10 followers got the same number of views. But if someone was just buying views, getting billions would be extremely costly. So it wouldn't make sense for someone to do unless they could get money directly for every stream, but TikTok doesn't pay you for views. The final explanation for this would be that TikTok gave him the views. In the past, TikTok was found to be telling moderators to remove posts that were off-brand, like people with various features like being obese, overly skinny, or having a disformed face. They did this to try to form the community that they wanted. Since then, they say they've removed these filters, but it's likely the algorithm and thus the platform has already been shaped. This example shows that TikTok isn't afraid to intervene if it could improve its brand. So it's possible that TikTok, seeing the platform was growing but ad revenue was relatively low, wanted to prove it had that big video. And if it wanted to pick its perfect creator to show that success on the platform, Zach King was that guy. He made popular content on the app, was the most followed user at the time, and had easily rewatchable content, so it wouldn't seem completely out of the blue. So it'd be quite easy for them to just add on a few extra zeros to the view count on 2 videos to show TikTok now has not only 1 but 2 videos over 1 billion. Then people would quickly forget about it since views aren't shown when you're watching videos, and most people don't look people's profiles for videos as everything is just recommended to them. Ultimately, it is possible that the views were real, but given the story of faking in social media and TikTok's history of manipulating the platform, it might be more realistic that TikTok just took the risk of someone finding out. But in the end, we might never know what actually happened. If you know Zach King, getting his analytics from the posts would be a good way to start. Thanks for watching. Unlike some people, Sparkpass doesn't buy followers or views. Instead, we need you. So if you like what we do, feel free to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and check out our website for more cool stories. Until next time, here on Sparkpass.